Hey, this is Andrew. This is Grooves and Gratitude, a 28-day live stream podcast my wife and I are doing to support each other in our recovery and to support any of our friends in recovery or possibly with a problem with drugs and alcohol. My name is Andrew, and I am an alcoholic and an addict.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jeannie, and I am an alcoholic and addict. We thought we'd share today with you about blackouts. You definitely at step zero if you start having trouble with blackouts. And I was going to read again from how it works, the NA 12 and 12 on page 7. Denial is part of our disease that makes it difficult, if not impossible, for us to acknowledge reality. In our addiction, denial protected us from seeing the reality of what our lives had become. Um, and with a blackout, the medical diagnosis is it's a type of amnesia. And when you drink and you flood the body with too much alcohol, the brain stops recording what's going on. So as we know, day to day we go along, and some activity you do, you can recall it the next day because our brain has processed it and put that memory in there. But when you're drinking too much, drugging too much, the brain isn't able to do that. So you'll have these black spots in your memory from where you drank too much. And I do have a story I can relate. I did not have a lot of blackouts, thank goodness. There's a author who visited Tennessee Tech, Sarah Heppel, and she wrote a book about blackouts, and it's very good. I highly recommend you pick it up and read that. She does a really wonderful job of telling her story. But for me, the one time I did, it was drinking alcohol and smoking marijuana, and we were on a houseboat with some friends. And I remember being um, at the grill cooking, and I have no idea how I got there. All I remember was from earlier in the day being on the boat and knowing that we were going to go back to the dock and pick up some more people and then make dinner. And I had a huge blackout period from I don't know how many hours, but several hours. And it was very scary, but not at that time, not scary enough to get me to quit, but it did make me start wondering at that time.
So my last day of step zero was on May 1st, 2009, and I was in a blackout, and I came to in the middle of a blackout in a very uncomfortable situation that I can't talk about in public, and I quit cold turkey the next day. But in 2007, at a great personal expense to myself, I traveled on the university spring break down to Florida to a music festival, and I put forth a lot of effort to get there. I was actually on the media team for the festival. So I was working for a website at the time as a volunteer editor and writer. And then I was also provided with complimentary tickets by the festival organizers to report on the festival, and got to attend press conferences with Michael Franti and people that I love. And my favorite band, one of my top favorite bands, My Morning Jacket, was one of the headliners there. And I got up on the railing. I love being on the railing. I've kind of moved away from the railing. I like to be at the back of the house now and dance more where I have more room to move. But I was really excited to be on the railing. It was my first time on the railing for the Jacket. And I blocked out after about 2 songs. And then the next day, everybody was talking about what a great show it was. I had no memory of the show. I lost my camera, a very expensive camera. I actually, came to like hours later. It was awful. And then I fake wrote a review,
Mm.
like based on what other people told me the show was like and what the set list was. And this actually, more than the disease, FOMO, fear of missing out on the fun I was having.
Mm.
So now when I go to a concert, I write the set list down so I can force myself to remember, and I keep like databases and catalogs of set lists on my computer. And I love going sober to concerts and not forgetting a single song. And it was awful. It was absolutely terrible. There's a song that I actually was exposed to when I was still drinking, and it was definitely part of my step zero journey towards step one. And it's by a heavy rock band. And today and tomorrow, our tracks on here are going to be heavy rock tracks. Jeannie's got a really strong rock track for tomorrow. But the name of the band is Tool. I don't think, like some of my artists, people that are in recovery, I don't believe that they're in recovery, but they have a winery. I think they make wine. Maynard Keenan does. He's a pretty weird guy, but if you've ever listened to it, but this is what the disease of alcohol. We say it's cunning, baffling, and powerful. This is also what it is. I am just a worthless liar. I am just an imbecile. I will only complicate you. Trust in me and fall as well. I will find a center in you and I will chew it up and leave. That is totally the definition of addiction for it. Why can't we not be sober? I just want to start this over. And why can't we sleep forever? And so this is even a desire for that oblivion. And I think as addicts, we secretly desire the oblivion of a blackout, which is messed up, which is so messed up. Jeannie, will you read that passage from the NA book again, since we are trying to incorporate slow reading of texts with this podcast? You reminded me this morning that we need to remember to do that.
I'll be glad to. And I do want to add, too, that it scared me so bad that I didn't even tell anybody. It was years later that I even faced the fact that I had a blackout. I was so scared of where I could go by doing such a thing. And here we are again on page 7. Denial is the part of our disease that makes it difficult, if not impossible, for us to acknowledge reality. In our addiction, denial protected us from seeing the reality of what our lives had become.
Difficulty and denial are the words that reach out to me.
Yeah, impossible. Yeah. And then to know that it protected us, denial protected.
Yeah, the disease has accomplices to keep us from getting where we are. And so many people fail. So many people die of this disease. We're grateful this morning to have this opportunity to be together as a couple and sharing this part of our relationship with you all. Thank you for live streaming this. You're welcome to share this on your page. It's a public live stream. It's also on my YouTube channel, and we'll try to be back tomorrow.
Bye. Have a great day.